I'm Dr. Anthony Harper with InterMountain Christian News and the Christian Newspaper Association. I'm blessed tonight to be with Kevin and Sam Sorbo.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for taking the time.
And I heard about this exciting movie, Let There Be Light. And I wanted both of you to share about how this came to be. But first of all, I know there's a website address. And for you, for that people want to get more information.
LetThereBeLightMovie.com, but you said, you can also say LetThereBeLightTheMovie.com,
yes,
correct?
it's either, but it's LetThereBeLightMovie.com.
And for pastors, LetThereBeLightMovie.com/pastors. So they can get a link, they can tell their flock to go see it.
Okay. Well, you know, I grew up watching Hercules.
I grew up too watching it.
Yeah, amazing. Because you were involved.
I was involved. 7 years of my life down in New Zealand. It was fantastic.
Right. And so a lot has transpired since then.
Yeah.
And I've heard your testimony about what you've been through. And then, you know, the God's Not Dead movie was very popular. And there was a character in that, you played a character of a professor that was, right, that had a problem with God.
He had a problem with God. A philosophy university professor who's an atheist. Do I even have to say that after I say university professor?
Shocker.
No. Okay. And this is, the movie actually came, at the end of the movie they show 28 court cases where this is actually going on in universities, where students are being persecuted simply because of their belief in God. They're getting failed grades or getting kicked out of their classes.
Right.
When the teachers should just be teaching the subject they should be teaching. But they're bringing in politics and whatever else into the equation, which is amazing.
Right.
That is.
And that's how it was built, that movie.
Okay. And your role in this movie is somewhat similar. I know in the God's Not Dead movie that the professor dies.
Yes.
In a car crash, gets hit by a car. Now, your role in this movie is just a little bit different. So explain for our listeners.
Well, you know, it's funny. Somebody said to me, he goes, well, you're playing an atheist again in the movie? I said, yeah, there's only 2 atheists in the world. I'm playing both of them.
Okay.
I go, this guy is like Hitchens or Dawkins. He is world renowned. He relishes in attacking and going after.
He's also not a former Christian.
He's not a former Christian. He was never a Christian, no. But he relishes going after the Christians, after the big. The Grahams of the world. He wants to debate them and humiliate them, because it's like going to a Bill Maher taping. I mean, it's his crowd, right? So when he makes sure when he does his debates, it's pretty much his crowd, and so that's his character. And he has a life-changing event, that he has a vision that changes his life and changes his questioning of all the hatred and anger and the road that he's been taking, wondering if he's on the right place.
Okay. I've seen a video, by the way, of Richard Dawkins and his discussion. It seems a lot of anger that he was holding in this video against Christians. And you know, Sam, your role is very important here in your part of the movie here. What is your position in the movie? And
so I co-wrote the script. Is that what you're, okay?
Yeah,
I co-wrote the script.
You did. Okay.
And then I co-star in it, and I play his ex-wife, his long-suffering ex-wife.
Okay.
And he is the father of our children, and for that reason I need him, because I need him for them, even though I just as soon not have him anymore, basically.
Okay.
You know, and this is.
But you are the moral compass in the movie.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's a depiction of life as we know it in the United States. People get divorced for all kinds of reasons. But strangely, I did a screening at a conference where I was, and after the screening, there was a lot of people outside talking about the movie. They really enjoyed the movie, and it was, you know, a lot of people just uplifted and hopeful, and it was very cool. It was a great energy. And as they slowly left, there was one woman who just hung out. And after they left, she said, I just want to tell you, I just lived that. We just got divorced. Which broke my heart. So they had lost a child, and they had gotten divorced because she's a believer and he wasn't. And so it's a very sort of it's not an unusual story, but it's an unusual story for a film to tell, because most of our entertainment today is just distraction. And I wanted to make a film that dealt with the serious questions of life and that offered hope. And that's what this film does.
The screenings we've done has been amazing response from women, but even a stronger response from men, which has been incredible.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because I think of a lot of men that just hold things in, reserve things,
Yeah.
and they just can't deal with emotions.
Yeah.
And I know in the movie God's Not Dead, it stirred up a lot of emotions in Professor Addison. Couldn't deal with emotions.
Yeah.
And a lot of men struggle with this.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that they struggle with emotions. I think that they're underrepresented in entertainment. They're misrepresented
You're right.
in entertainment, right?
Yeah.
And so, a lot of sitcoms, the dad's always the stupid one. Cartoons, the dad's always the dope, that kind of thing.
Sure.
And women are the strong and smart. We've made great progress on behalf of women, but at the expense of what, right?
Right. Well, I grew up with a father that really denounced emotions and didn't think it was okay for boys to cry, for his son to cry. And
Didn't think it was okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of suppression.
Right, for sure.
For boys growing up about these emotions. Now, other people might want to know how long you have known Kevin and how you came to be together and what did you...
We're going to celebrate 20 years
In January.
in January.
We met on the set of Hercules. She came down to guest star on the show.
I played
Okay.
a princess.
And that's how it happened. That's right.
Wow.
And I wanted to marry a princess, so it worked out. So,
You did. Wonderfully.
yeah, that's how we met. And we started having kids during my second series, Andromeda, living up in Vancouver, Canada. It was a Gene Roddenberry show I did for 5 years. And that's when we started having our first two of our three kids. The third one came pretty quick after that, after the series ended.
Wow.
So we have a 16-year-old, 13-year-old, and an 11-year-old.
We've had quite a life together. Long span.
So far.
Okay. And we want people to turn out to this movie. It's not released yet. It's going to be
October 27th.
October 27th.
Yes.
And of course, a lot more information on your website.
Yes.
Yep.
Let there be light.
We need that
movie.com.
support. We need that support. Yeah.
We do.
Yes.
These movies need support from the audience because, it's not groundbreaking, but we are trying to clear a path, and we need to show that the public wants these movies, and they do.
Yeah.
So, but the hard thing is how to get the word out.
It's not a $200 million movie like the big budget ones Hollywood does, and they spend $100 million more and putting on every
Promoting
other
everything,
commercial and every sporting event, and every movie theater has it showing it before. They show so many trailers before a movie starts. Sometimes I forget which movie I came to see. But, we don't have that kind of money for these small independent films. And God's Not Dead didn't either, but it was word of mouth. And that's what this movie needs to survive on, is word of mouth.
Yeah, and God's Not Dead did very well.
It did very well.
Finally, there's this note about Sean Hannity. How did Sean Hannity get involved with this movie? How did this come about?
So I was struck by the idea of the world's greatest atheist having sort of a come to Jesus moment. Like, what would that look like if his faith, because atheists have a faith, they have a great belief in nothing, if his faith was challenged. And I called a friend who's a Hollywood screenwriter, and initially he didn't want to write it with me, but then when he heard the idea, he was like, wow, yeah, I do want to write that.
Okay.
And about 2 weeks later, Sean Hannity called Kevin and said, I want to do a faith film with you.
Okay.
And so we flew to New York and pitched him for half an hour, and he was in.
We wrote a check right
So
down there. And
he made a commitment
4 months
to
later, we
enter
were
the
filming.
culture.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that he has suffered a little bit because of that. I think that there's been a little bit of an attack on him because they know that he's interested in it.
How dare you do a movie that's got morals and values in it? Ugh.
Yeah, really.
But we need more.
Hollywood screams
people
about
like
attacking the Second Amendment, yet they're the same people that play bad guys, killing 100 people every movie they do, shooting guns, and then they get on ads and go, "We need to get rid of guns," and yet they're glorifying the use of guns.
That makes a lot of sense.
The hypocrisy is just unbelievable.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Sean Hannity is very outspoken, been a very vocal supporter of good news, and of course President Trump here, and this was quite a win for President Trump here.
Right.
But met Sean Hannity in the White House press room during the Trump administration. He's a very caring person.
Well, yes, I've been with the guy in social settings, and he's an amazing. He's a very, very passionate man, and he has his beliefs, and he sticks to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we thank Sean Hannity for getting involved, and most importantly, This wouldn't be possible at all without God, and so we thank God for giving you inspiration
The whole movie's
to
been a
do
God.
this, inspiring
The
you.
thing has been a God thing, trust me. Most movies from idea to the screen are 3 to 5 years. This is a little more than a year.
Okay.
It's unbelievable how fast this happened.
It is.
Yeah.
And so I pray, and asking all other people to pray, with a great response from this, and we'll get a lot more good movies, because we really need those.
We got more. I got 6 scripts ready to go. If anybody got a couple million burning a hole in their pocket,
Yeah.
come talk to me.
I don't know if Sean Hannity has those deep pockets, but we still want
I
Sean
can't bug
Hannity.
him anymore. I got to go somewhere else right now.
No, we appreciate
Thank
Sean
you so
Hannity
much.
and appreciate you for taking this full stance, and may God bless you with
you.
Thank you, sir.
inspiration and encouragement.
I
And,
appreciate that.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For getting some good news, having a good alternative to Hollywood. I mean, you need to make a difference. So, thank you for joining us.